Picture yourself standing on a wind-swept ridge in the Atacama Desert, where rainfall is measured not in inches per year but in millimeters per decade. The sun beats down mercilessly, yet each morning a ghostly phenomenon rolls in from the Pacific, a dense grey fog that clings to the mountainside like a living thing. For ancient peoples and later colonial explorers, this fog represented something profound, invisible water hanging in the air, tantalizingly close yet maddeningly out of reach. The Victorians, with their characteristic blend of scientific curiosity and engineering ambition, looked at this challenge and asked a question that would echo through generations. What if we could make the sky itself rain upward into our vessels? The principle is deceptively simple, yet its execution reveals the kind of ingenuity that separates survival from perishing in the world's most unforgiving landscapes. When fog, essentially a cloud touching the ground, encounters a vertical barrier, something remarkable happens. The tiny water droplets suspended in that humid air, each no larger than 1/10 of a human hair, collide with the surface and cling to it through surface tension. Victorian naturalists and engineers observed this phenomenon on spider webs, glistening with morning dew, on the leaves of desert plants that seemed to drink directly from the air, and on the rigging of ships sailing through coastal mists. Early experimenters began with what they had: canvas sails stretched between wooden frames, positioned perpendicular to the prevailing winds on high ground, where fog was most reliable. The results were immediately promising. As moisture-laden air passed through the tightly woven fabric, droplets would accumulate, merge into larger beads, and then gravity would take over, sending precious water trickling down into gutters and collection vessels below. A single square meter of properly positioned material could yield anywhere from 3 to 15 liters of water daily, depending on fog density and wind speed, enough to sustain life where conventional wells would require drilling through hundreds of feet of bone-dry rock. What began as scientific experimentation in the 19th century evolved through the 20th into a legitimate survival technology. The Chilean experiments of the 1980s on El Tofo Mountain weren't inventing something new so much as rediscovering and refining what Victorian-era explorers and colonial engineers had intuited. Those early fog catchers used whatever materials the era provided: tightly woven textiles, later wire mesh and burlap, always seeking the perfect balance between allowing air to pass through while maximizing droplet capture. Modern versions employ sophisticated polymer meshes with carefully calculated fiber spacing, but the fundamental principle remains unchanged. Position a barrier where fog travels, let physics do the work, and collect the gift that gravity delivers. Standing before a fog catcher in operation is witnessing an act of quiet rebellion against scarcity. They represent the kind of self-reliance that the Fieldcraft Chronicles community understands intimately, the recognition that survival often depends less on high technology than on observing nature's patterns and working with them rather than against them. In an era of increasing climate uncertainty, the Victorian fog catcher stands as a testament to human adaptability, reminding us that the solutions to our most pressing challenges often lie not in complexity, but in the elegant simplicity of working with what the world provides. If this journey into forgotten fieldcraft has sparked something in you, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles and share this video with those who understand that true preparedness means learning from both past and present. The old ways aren't obsolete, they're essential.